entirely via Zoom is hereby called to order. Protocol for today's meeting was previously reviewed by Corporation Counsel, who indicated to me it is compliant with the executive orders issued by the governor and fair for those watching from a remote location. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'll start off with a roll call vote. And please indicate verbally that you're present when your name is called. Commissioner Motto? Here. Commissioner Tiki?
Present.
Myself, Commissioner Harger. Alternate Commissioner Lascos?
Present.
Mr. Rossetti, our administrator?
I'm here.
Mr. O'Neill, our assistant administrator and CEO?
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Panico, our consultant?
Present.
And Ms. Vernassos, our recording secretary?
Present.
Thank you. For the record, Commissioners Kelly, Parkins, Wodomski, and alternate Commissioner Lascos are unavailable for this evening's meeting. Alternate Commissioner Lascos, I'll seat you in place of Commissioner Kelly.
Got it.
All right, so.
You said that I was not
former
present
Commissioner
also.
Kelly.
It was alternate Commissioner Usal is not here.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Alternate. All right. Oh, yeah, I see it. Sorry about that. All right. So just to reiterate, for the record, Commissioners Kelly, Parkins, Wodomski, and alternate Commissioner Usal are unavailable for this evening's meeting, and alternate Commissioner Lascos has been seated in place of Commissioner Kelly. So we have a quorum. We have 4 members present. Couple of points before continuing with today's agenda. This is the Commission's 45th meeting being done via a live streaming process. Mr. Rossetti will act as the Zoom meeting host. While Commissioners will be able to make comments throughout the meeting, the Chair asks that you please identify yourself and wait to be recognized by the Chair before speaking to make sure we're not all speaking over each other and to make sure our recording secretary is clear as to who is speaking. 2 applications for a certificate of zoning compliance are on the agenda. The first is application 4893, expedite the deal, 675 Bridgeport Avenue. This application was first heard at our July 28th meeting and was tabled to be referred to the zoning subcommittee. At our August 10th meeting, there was additional discussion about the additional sign that was requested, and Mr. O'Neill advised the commission the applicant was going to revise the layout. The applicant has submitted a revised layout, and I was advised by Commissioner Motto, the zoning subcommittee chair, that the zoning subcommittee did meet and reviewed the revised layout and had no issues. Commissioner Motto, you have anything additional to add at this time?
No, we had objected to there being signs on 2 signs on one side of the building. So they revised their one sign. I think it's pretty much where it is now, but it's larger and brighter. And
Yeah,
but it meets the regulations in terms of size. Mr. O'Neill checked that out for us.
Right. Okay. Yeah. The subcommittee rather did meet after the first July 28th meeting, and there was discussion about that at our August 10th meeting. So is the applicant present?
I am Damian Honda from Expedite the Deal.
Okay. Ms. Honda, would you review the revised layout for the commission, please?
Sure. Chase had decided to go with just the one sign in place where it is now. So they're just replacing that cabinet sign with the illuminated channel letters in the same location at 25.6 square feet, which, as stated, was found within the regulations of the code.
Okay. Very good. Does any commissioner have any comments, questions, or concerns for the applicant? Okay. Mr. Panico, do you have any comments on this particular application?
No, I do not, Madam Chairman.
Okay, thank you so much. Seeing that no commissioners have any questions, Commissioner Amato indicated the zoning subcommittee had no issues with this revised layout. Does any commissioner wish to make a motion on this application?
I'll make a motion to approve the sign.
Okay, there's a motion to approve application 4893, the revised one submitted from Commissioner Amato. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay,
Commissioner
Commissioner
Laskos.
Laskos is seconding. So on the motion to approve made by Commissioner Amato and seconded by Commissioner Laskos, I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Amato,
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. The motion is approved by a vote of 4-0. Okay, the second application is for a certificate of zoning compliance. Is application 5149. Thomas Sign, 898 Bridgeport Avenue, which is the location of the Stop and Shop in the Shelton Square Shopping Center. I was advised by Commissioner Amato that the zoning subcommittee met and reviewed the proposed changes that in the application, and the subcommittee had no issues. Is that correct, Commissioner Amato?
That's correct. And again, Mr. O'Neill verified that the signs are, meet our regulations in terms of size and placement.
Okay, very good. Is the applicant present?
I don't believe the applicant's here, but he was aware that it was tonight at 6 o'clock.
Okay,
So I can go through some of the details if you have any questions.
okay, why don't you go ahead and they're updating their logo from what it looks like, where the words of that half moon dish, whatever, with the red, blue, and green leaves sticking up, is being replaced by the 2 dots, and the type of the font is different as well for the word Stop and Shop. And there are also, it looks like, Mr. O'Neill, that they have a series of changes to the wording outside: People's, Bottle Return, Pharmacy, and Starbucks. And this is just the on the front of the building, on the facade. Is that correct, Mr. O'Neill?
Correct. So they're basically rebranding the whole plaza, and that includes the gas station, the front of the store that you see now. They're changing the color to be a little bit more of a, I guess, a brighter gray, if that makes sense. They're replacing all of the signs that are already existing: the Starbucks, People's Bank, Pharmacy, Bottle Return. A lot of minor changes, to the pharmacy. Instead of the little pharmacy logo, it just says pharmacy now. The great food, low prices that's on either side of the Stop and Shop is no longer going to be there. But it's basically the same setup, just an updated rebranding of all of their signs.
Yeah, definitely the Stop and Shop on the gas pumps is much more visible. The only thing that I was concerned about is the monument sign that is shown on page 4 of the 8 pages. Maybe Mr. Rossetti, you can move the screen to that page 4. Yeah, on that, the monument sign on the right side shows the red and green circles and Stop and Shop superimposed over white, and pharmacy is reversed with a gray background and white. I'm
Right.
wondering if people may not understand that it is part of Stop and Shop, or maybe they will, and I'm just not getting it. So
Yeah, I think they just wanted to highlight the gray. It's part of their new brand. So the pharmacy, with the gray and the white, everything is pretty much gray and white, except for the Starbucks and the People's Bank, which is of course their colors.
usually it's a tenant is so anxious to have as much exposure as possible for them to be shortening up their name, Stop and Shop, to include that time. I'm just wondering how much of an impact it'll be, seeing the pharmacy is going to be on the outside of the building. So I don't know if you can relay that to the applicant at some point, but does anybody have any concerns about any of what they're proposing?
I think that's kind of up to them. That's how they want to
Yeah, I
present
know.
themselves.
Yeah,
I certainly have no reason to hold them up or object.
yeah. Well, remember, Commissioner Amato, it was a couple years ago that Shelton Square came in front of us for this monument sign.
Yeah, and have
They
lots
wanted-
more names.
Yeah, everybody wanted their name on it, so it's funny that they would choose to reduce the size of their name to include pharmacy, where you look at Holly Lane Shoes in the edge. and,
Yeah,
You know, so
maybe it's a big seller. Maybe it's a big profit center.
maybe, so. Okay, anybody have any comments, questions, or concerns about application 5149?
Fine with it.
Okay, right, hearing none, seeing that the applicant is not here this evening, does anyone want to make a motion on this application?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, there's a motion to approve from Commissioner Amato for application 5149. Is there a second?
Commissioner Ticky, I'll second.
Thank you, Commissioner Ticky. So on the motion to approve application 4893 from Commissioner Amato, seconded by Commissioner Ticky, I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Amato,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Ticky,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. Motion to approve has passed by vote of 4-0. The next agenda item is old business, and this is application 2117 Daybreak Ridge. Daybreak Ridge LLC, care of Dominic Thomas, 85 River Road, petition for modification of approved special exception application number 19-06 for 34 townhouse units in R3 zone for an additional 2 units in Building D for a total of 36 units. This modification recognizes the existing residential zoning and approved special exception application. Shelton zoning regulations, section 33.6.2 and the bulk standards in Schedule B for an R3 zone would permit 36 units on the property. Is the applicant participating in this meeting?
Does not appear so.
Okay,
Just give me 1 second. I just will double check. Are any of the 2 members attending representatives for this application, Daybreak Ridge?
We probably shouldn't have any dialogue with him anyhow, Madam Chairman.
yeah, what I wanted in speaking with Corporation Counsel,
Okay,
he advised that I could just make a comment that does the applicant understand that the commission plans to go forward with just 4 members this evening?
okay.
He felt that that was suitable. So seeing that there's no indication, Mr. O'Neill, that there's anybody here from the applicant, right? I mean, not Mr. O'Neill, Mr.
No.
Rossetti. Okay. All right, then we can go forward. The public hearing for this modification opened on July 28th, and the commission heard from Attorney Thomas and the project engineer, Mr. Silva. The bulk of the discussion concentrated on the slope behind Building B. And this was also heard in August. And unfortunately, my computer crashed a little while ago, and I wasn't able to pull up my second list of meetings. So I believe it was August 15th. So, Mr. Pianico, could you just, before we go further, review the concept of a special exception? Are there any provisions or any part of the Connecticut state statutes that apply, and the bulk standards in our zoning regs as they apply to this application?
I can just touch on them very briefly. First of all, staff has reviewed it and has determined that it is in an R3 zone and that the R3 zone allows a maximum of 36 units. So that is an eligibility number for the site. The current approval is 34 units. section 36, I'm sorry, 36 units are allowed then by the applicable zoning standards. And the early reports on engineering and from our engineering department, as well as the applicant's engineer, was all based on 36 units to begin with. It was during the processing of that 36 unit request that a reduction was made in order to eliminate some concerns that the commission was having a hard time wrestling with. But now that they've successfully gotten their earlier approval and they got into the grading and they found out that they could modify their rock slopes and gain more usable space, they're basically applying for their full entitlement, which is the additional 2 units.
Mhm.
Under the Connecticut general statutes, special exceptions and special permits are deemed to be permitted uses, providing they comply with the standards that must be set forth in your regulations. And staff has done their review and determined that the applicable standards have indeed been satisfied. The
Mhm.
commission's discretion is very limited, since in this type of an application, you're acting in an administrative capacity. So you are limited to reviewing it based on what you have predetermined to be standards that are necessary to be satisfied. This is a little bit unlike zoning, traditional zoning applications, which are modifications or changes to the regulations in which the commission is acting in a legislative capacity. Under a legislative capacity, you have considerable discretion, including, bottom line, just saying no if you don't like the project, irrespective of standard compliance. This discretion is just not available when you're acting administratively, such as in a subdivision
Mhm.
and site plan. So since the commission has already approved the project with 34 units, they had come to general conclusions as to the impact on the neighborhoods, et cetera. This legal position, if you will, was reviewed with Corporation Counsel, and he too agrees that if the standards are met and there are no safety standards issues, the commission's hands are pretty much tied into granting an approval.
Mhm.
If you did not, and you were taken to court, the odds are pretty sure that you're going to get shut down.
Mhm. Okay. Does any commissioner have any questions for Mr. Panico?
No, but I appreciate the explanation. That was very helpful.
Mhm.
Yes, we really did struggle with this, and I think we, really need to feel like we're on firm ground.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Chairman, could you just give me a 5-minute excuse?
Yeah, sure.
of course.
Okay.
Chairwoman, I just have a comment about this. Are we continuing the meeting as Mr. Panico steps aside?
We can have a short recess.
Okay.
No.
Hello, Jenny?
Hi,
Yeah,
Ron, you've got a quick question?
I'm sorry, it's Ron Knoll from DeCarlo and Dahl. I hope I'm not interrupting.
no, we're in a recess.
Oh, okay. So the 824 applications will be heard after the recess for,
Yeah, it's coming up on the agenda.
perfect.
Yep.
All right, I'll go mute again. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Vanassos, are you there?
Oh, hi,
Hi.
Chairwoman.
Yes, thank you. I was just wondering, did you make a note as to when we went, what time we went into recess?
I believe it was 6:25.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, Paul, the 824 is coming up in a few minutes. We're not ready yet.
Okay, no problem.
Mr. Rossetti, I'm inclined that we should reconvene the meeting in about a minute.
That's fine with me. I told Elaine that it'd be under an hour, so she's holding me to it.
Don't make promises.
I'm gonna keep it. Man, my word.
All right, everybody, it's 6:35. We've been in recess for 10 minutes and I'd like to reconvene the meeting. Okay, and there's Mr. Panico. So we were just going to reconvene the meeting. Mr. Panico did give us a review of the regulations that have to do with a special exception and meeting the bulk standards. Is there, Commissioner Amato mentioned that she was appreciative of hearing that kind of information so that we're on a firm footing with whatever decision we end up making. Is there anybody else that wants to make a comment before we proceed?
Yes, Chairman, I was speaking up before Mr. Panico left us as Commissioner
Great.
Tick.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Well, and thanks to Mr. Panico, that was helpful. As I think I've mentioned before, I just wanted to just highlight the process that we took, because I think we understood from the beginning that 36 units were allowed by zoning, and we deliberated and we heard from the public. And I think we discussed this for many weeks, if not months, and ultimately landed on 34 units. And I think what was a 5-1 vote. So I just have a concern that it begins to set the precedent to applicants that we might land on a certain number of units or apartments after we come out of public hearings. But then once the development gets going, applicant might report, depending on the zoning, that they've had space become available, or that they're able to make the full allotment. And then we see number of apartments or units change from what we've all agreed to what the maximum might allow for in the zoning. So I just wanted to note that concern that I have, and that there's a reason for the process that we take in hearing from the public and deliberating it. And that I hope that it would not become a precedent that other applicants would take advantage of to go to the maximum amount of units allocated if the commission didn't see fit in the first place.
Okay.
I know it's a relatively minor point in some people's minds, but it's a rather major one in mine. And that is, the commission did not reduce the density. The density reduction was made in the course of the public hearing by the applicant when he reviewed some of the concerns, or he interpreted what some of the concerns would seem to be. So he thought to at least get over that hurdle and let's get the overall application processed. He went ahead and on his own accord reduced his request within what's required by the regulations. So it wasn't a case that the commission looked at 36 and said, we're going to deny 36, but we'll approve 34. It was a case where the applicant was trying to streamline the process, if we would, so as we could get to some kind of a decision. And he decided, since the concern was about the length of a building, that he was going to withdraw a couple of those units and make the building apparently better fitting on the site.
Would that have made a difference if this particular application had been a PDD versus a special exception?
If it had been a what? A PDD?
Yeah.
Oh, certainly under a PDD, you would have every right to simply say, no, we feel 30, 24, or 34 is the maximum that the site can support.
Mm-hmm.
And we will not give you any more than 34. Case closed. You have that discretion to do that.
Mm-hmm. In this case, we do not.
Right. In this case, you've got a regulation that says that if an applicant can successfully address all of the other issues based on the analysis of the physical topography of the site, he has enough eligible buildable area to support 36 units.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And there is no...
The commission has already indicated that they have no problem with the overall concept by virtue of the 34 units that were approved. And now in the course of construction, it would appear that the applicant did some additional grading, created an even larger buildable area to be more accommodative to the full 36 units. And in doing so, he even improved upon the slope of the rock face that the commission had approved as part of the earlier approval given. He's flattened it out and he's proposing to move it further away from the building to satisfy some of those concerns of the commission.
Is there any reason, anything that the commission could state in a case like this that would be grounds for denial? Is there something that the state statute says, okay, if you feel that there's this reason or that reason,
I personally would find it hard right now to come up with some kind of reasoning that would support that.
Mm-hmm.
The traffic report was done on the base of 36 units, 34 units, didn't matter. The overall engineering of the site is done that way. The fire access and egress, whether it's for 34 or 36, it's been deemed adequate by the fire department.
Mhm.
The only thing that is there, and I don't think it would be acceptable, is the impact on the length of the building. And I don't know that you have that latitude of judgment to say the 36 unit building is too long, we don't like it. You know, you certainly could try it.
Mm.
Far be
I
it, from-
don't-
I'm not a judge.
No,
I don't
and
think
that's either
it's
we have
one
to
buil- it's
super
not one building, it's a couple of
It's
buildings.
two, yeah, it's more
Two
than.
units in that one building.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, adding 2 units to just that section,
Correct.
we would feel, but whatever, if that was the case, we'd have to have a good basis to win that argument in court. And,
I'm not convinced that we can come up with something that would stand, but you don't know how a judge is going to react either.
yeah, exactly, yeah. Now, I think we have to take it on face value that the standards have been met, and then I'm sure staff would have, and the corporation council would have advised us otherwise.
You-
Prior to this.
You've been basically backed into a corner that says, while you approve a building of X number of units and a certain length, you will not approve 2 more units in that building. And I'm not sure if that is in an area of consideration that you're allowed to make.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Obviously, I'm not an attorney, and I'm
Yeah.
not a judge, so.
Right. Yeah, I think your comments are valued based on your long time association with the commission and running into so many different situations and understanding how things can go. So, but for the 3 other members of the commission that are here this evening, how would you like to proceed on this particular application? Is there anyone that wants to make a motion on this application or take some other
I'll
action?
just, I'll just make a statement. I appreciate what Mr. Ticky is saying, because we did spend an awful lot of time on this at the time, and when it came back, it was like a little bit of a feeling of being played, I guess, to be very blunt.
Mhm.
And I don't know if other people share that, but I don't see that we have any choice on this as it's been explained. I believe the 36 units are based on the buildable land before the grading. It's not like he changed. That's my understanding anyway, that land was by buildable land. There was room for 36 units if he had gone ahead with like an R3 plan, and he can do this.
We don't have a subjective standard that says in that zone, a building can't be more than X number of feet.
Mhm.
Right.
You can't contain
Right.
more than X number of units. If we had a standard of that sort, we could point to it and say, you're not meeting that standard.
Right.
You have more than you're allowed.
I thought, when my recollection of it is, my objection was the rock face so steep, so close to the units. And I just thought it wasn't going to be a successful presentation for the builder, really, frankly. But if he's managed to kind of make that better, and it sounds like he has, that would have been the end of my previous objection to the way he was building on that site.
Mhm. Okay.
I don't know whether the commission sensed it at all, but from day one, I was not comfortable with the project. And however, the fact is it got this far, on a certain basis, and the additional 2 units are not going to benefit or be a disadvantage to those conditions.
Okay.
Someone using the microwave?
I'm sorry.
Commissioner Laskos, you're not muted.
You turn off the microwave?
Oh, Zoom is so much fun.
I know. Commissioner Laskos, did you want to say anything about this? You're on mute.
I think it was clear from the applicant's presentation that he reduced it based on the the grading that was not clear of what he was going to encounter. And as it turns out, it was became more of a buildable site. So I'm comfortable with what I've reviewed on the prints and read on it.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Tiki, did you have any other comments?
Well, since you ask, I'll just mention, and I'm not disagreeing with Mr. Panico, but I think since we're moving towards some resolution here, that whether an applicant hears from the public and what they'd like to see, and you can go back and listen to the tapes, everything the public talked about and how a commission is taking it might lead them to reduce units. They might get to the same result if the commission asks. So whether the commission begins to talk to the applicant, or you can tell that the public wanted to lessen units and we were seemingly open to that idea. However it happened, the applicant lessened units in an effort to get to a favorable resolution, and this did pass 5-1. So however it happened, units were lessened as we went through the public hearing process and when we took that final vote.
Mhm.
I don't recall that we actually had gotten any public testimony in that first go around with respect to the numbers of units. At least I don't recall.
Yeah,
It didn't happen.
I wouldn't be able to document that right at this time. So,
I don't know if it was specific units, but probably overall, the general idea of a lot of units in that area was a concern, I believe, to some folks.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is not uncommon.
Mhm.
So. All right, well, is there anyone that wants to make a motion to move on this particular application?
I'll make the motion
In which way are you making
Oh.
the motion?
To approve.
Okay, there's a motion to approve application 2117 from Commissioner Motto. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
There's a
Commissioner
second
Lascos.
from Commissioner Lasco. So on the motion to approve application 2117 from Commissioner Motto, seconded by Commissioner Lascos. I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Tiki,
Nay.
Commissioner Lascos,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion to approve application 2117 has been approved by a vote of 3-1. Okay. All right, next on the agenda is new business. Application 20-21, Vista Apartments 2. Is there a motion to accept? And let me read the description. Vista Apartments 2, Vista Apartments LLC, care of Stephen Bellis, 1039 Howe Avenue, Assessors Map 146, Lot 19, for 16 apartments in a CA3 zone on 1.96 acres with on-site parking. Is there a motion to accept and set a public hearing, I believe for September 29th? Is that correct, Mr. Rossetti?
I will also double check the date. Give me 2 seconds.
Sure.
Yes, we have the date set for September 29th.
Okay. Is there someone that would want to make a motion to accept and set the public hearing for September 29th?
Oh, sure. I'll make the motion to accept it for a public hearing on September 29th. Right?
Thank you. Is there a second?
Commissioner Tiki will second.
Thank you, Commissioner Tiki. So on the motion from Commissioner Motto, seconded by Commissioner Tiki to accept application 21-21 and set a public hearing for September 29th. I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Lascos,
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. It has been approved by a vote of 4-0. Next agenda item is the public portion. Mr. Rossetti, is there anyone from the public who indicated they wish to speak?
Appear to be the only 2 attendees left are members for the next item.
Okay. Is there a motion to close the public hearing? I mean, the public portion? No, we don't need that. I'm sorry. We're going to go on to other business. Oh, never mind. I just thought of something, but it doesn't apply. So other business is, first item is 824 referral And it reads as such: City of Shelton Public Works for recommendation of improvements and regrading at Cott Street, Blacks Hill Road for the future intersection with Constitution Boulevard, located in and adjacent to Assessor's Map 105, lots 8 to 11. Mr. Rossetti, do you have any explanation for this or comments?
We do. I guess I'll do a quick blurb, and then if the commission has questions, we can turn it over to both Paul tomorrow and Ron Naults, who are here
Okay, and
representing Public Works.
the material was on the website, which Mr. Rossetti just brought up. So
That's correct.
what do you
So
want to go?
just 30-second description is, as you're all aware, if down by my mouse here, this would be Bridgeport Avenue.
Mhm.
Constitution Boulevard is going to continue across Route 8, across Bridgeport Avenue, up this road, and eventually into the Moss property.
Mhm.
Cott Street or Blacks Hill Road crosses the future Constitution Boulevard North. And right now, the grading does not support a safe interchange. So the city is asking for our permission to regrade this road to make this a safe exchange and obviously include concrete curbing and improve the quality of the road and the condition there. That way it can be a safe interchange. But if Paul or Ron have anything further to add, they're welcome to do so, or if the commissioners have questions.
Could you put up that other page that was on the
The
city's
profile?
website? Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so this, for the commissioners, this would be the south side, meaning this corner over here.
Mhm.
And then at the opposite end would be the north side. And so right now, the grading follows this dotted line. And so Constitution Boulevard would have to come all the way up here. Fortunately, or build a bridge.
Yeah.
And neither of those are highly desirable. So they are proposing to regrade it down to meet Constitution Boulevard and have it come back up in a safe and redone manner. So
How much of a drop is that from 200, like 10 feet?
correct. So that goes from, looks like about 228 down to 218, we'll call it.
Over what distance?
About a 15-foot cut.
So it's like a 7.5% grade, something like that.
I don't see the grade there.
I'm sure one of the gentlemen on the call could speak
Can
into that.
explain to that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I assume, does this have to be blasted out? Is that to get it
Yes.
down there? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, if one of the gentlemen that's participating can speak to that. And if there is any portion where a similar grade exists in town that you could point out, that would be helpful. So we have Mr. DiCarlo and Mr. DeMauro. Do one of you want to discuss this?
Yes, this is Ron Knoll from DeCarlo and Dahl. Good afternoon, everyone. So the Constitution Boulevard grade to achieve the vertical profile to the Moss property will be required to be lowered relative to current grade as we cross Cott Street, Blacks Hill Road. So accordingly, we propose to depress the Cott Street, Blacks Hill Road profile to match that, to meet that. And that actually results in a better roadway vertical profile for Cott Street and Blacks Hill. Right now, it's got a hump in Blacks Hill Road with poor sight distance, right about where future Constitution Boulevard will cross. So the new road profile will actually make the driveway at the, I hope I'm saying their name properly, but the Dick Levy property much better in that instance. The project will result in the acquisition and removal of the house at Kravitsky's property. So there won't be any personal or property impacts once that property has been acquired. And the road will be constructed to modern engineering standards. As someone correctly referenced, it'll result in a grade down to Constitution Boulevard from each side of the match line of about 7%, which is steep, but not steep for Connecticut and the Valley. Modern roadway standards would dictate a maximum grade of 10%. and
10%.
we're well below that. So it'll also result in proper drainage and a better pavement structure as well.
Mhm. So does this have any impact on the traffic that would continue on Cott Street to where it intersects with Blacks Hill Road further north?
We expect that all traffic traversing Constitution Boulevard from Bridgeport Avenue up to the Moss property would stay on the newly constructed Constitution Boulevard down to a modern signalized intersection at Bridgeport Avenue with turn lanes and proper vehicle movement management, and that Cott Street and Blacks Hill Road would just be for local traffic that wishes to exit Constitution Boulevard. So we don't expect traffic to really use Cott Street and Blacks Hill unless they wish to.
Well, the residents that are there now, and I would imagine at the beginning at where Cott Street intersects Bridgeport Avenue, you've got an office building, and then up the hill is a medical building.
Medical building,
And you
right?
have some residential, and then if you continued around the corner and continued, you'd hit eventually, what, maybe a quarter or a third of a mile down, there's Blacks Hill, where Blacks Hill Road winds up from Bridgeport Avenue. So that's for those people that need to get to either end, they'll still have the ability to do so.
Correct.
Yeah, it's not like we're gonna have two dead ends at Constitution. No, it's gonna continue, but as you said, the profile is gonna be a little bit, it's gonna be.
Either one of the other roads leads to having a turnaround. Somebody had mentioned earlier about having a cul-de-sac there and have each road. You can't stop either Blacks Hill or Cott Street because of the severity of their slope of their roads.
Mhm.
You don't want to force them to turn around and go back down or up those hills.
Okay.
So it's going to be a safety measure all around. And I would apologize for neglecting to bring this item up when I came in for a change of alignment of the road. But with that alignment, of course, this moves the road to the highest point of the road. But it's a benefit because it's a straight through from Bridgeport Avenue now, whereas before it was veering off to the right and also was going through a severe amount of wetlands, which we eliminated.
Okay, Mr. DeMauro, just for the record, please identify yourself and your position.
Paul DeMauro, Public Works Director, City of Shelton.
Thank you.
This Commissioner Ticky, just a question just about the communication. Hi, Mr. DeMauro. Are folks, the business owners and residents, are they in touch, or what will be the level of communication?
I'm sorry, what was that again?
What will be the level of communication, that the city is having to make folks aware about the work that
we held a public hearing when we first started the redesign of the particular road, which I think goes back at least 4 years now, or 4 years ago. And I would say that the entire neighborhood was represented at that meeting. And those people that are affected are in talks with the administration now as to acquiring land, et cetera. Everyone is, trust me, is very, very well aware of it in that area. And I think looking forward to it for the most part.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I think that's an important piece. So people, know what's happening in their neighborhoods.
Yeah, this has been in the works, and Tony Panico and I are probably the only two that were around when it was first started. Right, Tony? He's not there right now, but this goes back a long time, folks. I mean, this was the dream of your former chairman and assistant chairman, Frank Ozak, et cetera.
Oh, sure. And I could tell you around my parents' dinner table 60 years ago.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
So this is not like just this idea came about just 2 weeks ago.
It's going to be a great improvement if we can ever get it all the way through. And it looks like that's where we're heading, hopefully.
Yeah. And I was just gonna wait for Mr. Panico to come back, but that's okay. So, and if this gets a favorable referral, it's not like there are gonna be heavy equipment that's gonna be moved into the area tomorrow.
No.
Have a long
We
way to
still
go on
have,
this.
no, Ron's firm is currently working on the traffic studies, et cetera, for the road going all the way through, to satisfy the state of Connecticut, who are tough to deal with in that respect. So
Mhm.
we've got a ways with that. The plans are ready to go to bid very shortly. That's one issue, but we're not going to be starting construction this season.
No, this is just part of the.
But this is one of the things that I didn't get before, and by state statutes, of course, we have to have an 824 for change in grade. So I'm just trying to tidy up all the loose ends before we'll be going to wetlands shortly if they get an agenda, and be taking care of that issue also.
Okay. So does anyone have any other questions of Mr. Knoll or Mr. DeMauro?
No, I would offer that if anybody knows Joseph Court near me, that's like a 10% grade. And
Oh, okay.
it seems like pretty much nothing, just,
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay.
Village
Compared
Drive
to
is
the
probably
hill.
one of the worst subdivisions we ever had, and of course, neither one of them compare with Elm Street or Wheeler. Wheeler.
Yeah, I mean, the
Which I'm on
Those
both.
are
compared to
hills.
the roads in
Oh.
town, it's nothing. Yeah.
I think Jimmy can attest to,
They're on both sides of me, so I'm.
he
well
knows where the hills are,
Great.
Yeah.
and we're not like that,
Yeah.
and we're wider too.
Yep.
Mm.
All right. So, no further questions for Mr. DeMauro or Mr. Knoll. And how about any further questions for Mr. Rossetti? Okay. So hearing that, is there any commissioner would like to make a motion on this particular application for an 824 referral?
Since nobody's speaking up, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, so to approve a favorable 824. Mr. Panico, did you want to say something?
No, I said it's to report favorably. That's the action.
Report favorably, thank you.
Okay. All right, so there's a motion to report favorably on the request for an 824 referral from Commissioner Amato.
I'll
Is there-
second it, Commissioner Laskos.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Laskos. So on the motion from Commissioner Amato, seconded by Commissioner Laskos, to report favorably on the 824 referral, I'll do a roll call. Commissioner Amato,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
Commissioner Tiki,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion has passed with a vote of 4-0. Thank you. All right,
Thank you
next
all.
on, thank you and good night.
Thank you.
Next, under old business comments from the chair and the subcommittee, I just wanted to let everybody know there was an SEDC executive committee meeting this morning. I have some updates from Mr. Grimmer that regarding 267 Canal Street, Star Pen, Tie and Bond, the engineering firm that had been hired to conduct a site assessment has findings and will be preparing a plan to present to the SEDC to remediate the site. And regarding Ascom Hassler at 281 Canal Street, which is the building right after the former Star Pin building, an EPA approval of something that's called a QAP, meaning a Quality Assurance Action Plan, hazardous building material evaluation, is expected within 2 weeks. Mr. Grimmer indicated that preliminary investigation did not indicate a significant amount of hazardous building material. And regarding restoration of the canal locks, 13 engineering firms made an initial inquiry when the request for qualifications was put out. Only 4 did submit their qualifications, and a subcommittee of the Shelton Economic Development Commission will meet tomorrow to review the qualifications and proceed with making a recommendation as to which engineering firm to hire. So that's what I have to say. Commissioner Amato, do you have any other comments from the zoning subcommittee or?
No, our only activity was the sign review that we just approved those 2 signs this evening.
Okay, very good.
Chairwoman, this is Commissioner Tiki.
Go ahead.
Those were helpful updates. It's been a very long time since we've had a a proper downtown subcommittee though. And I know Commissioner Kelly is not here right now, but I can check in with him. But I think with all the activity that's happening and what you've reported, just to dive a little deeper in a downtown subcommittee hearing would be appropriate. It's been a while since we've had one, just to learn more about the activity down there and to continue to engage the commission.
Yes, yeah, and we will be able to see 502 Howe Avenue, I would think within the next month, as well as Mr. Stanzel's Cedar Village Phase 2, as well as his 6-family apartment building. So that's all moving along, and yeah, we definitely, I think now that we're over the summer, because that's, I think, what a lot of people were waiting for, with everybody's summer schedules, that it would be tough to pull one together, but I'll remind Mr. Commissioner Kelly to work with Mr. Nappy to get that done, to have that something scheduled. Okay, anybody else before I move on? All right, Mr. Rossetti, do you have any comments for the commission?
I think Elaine beat me.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Mr. O'Neill, do you have any comments on zoning enforcement issues or other parts of your job?
Not at this time.
You have, I thought you were going to give us a little summary of some of the more
I
interesting.
can put together an actual report if we want for the next meeting.
Yeah, if you can make it standard operating procedure to fill us in on what you've done, what's come across your desk in the last month.
Sure.
I think that's important for people to understand. Okay, and so Mr. Panico, how about you? Do you have anything you want to?
No, just a little comment aside. I kind of felt good knowing that we're finally taking some steps towards the implementation of that line that we drew on the map over 20 years ago. At which a lot of people laughed at us and saying, we will never see it. Well, I'm hoping maybe we will see at least parts of it.
Yeah, it's a heavy duty project. It's not something you could just do overnight. There's a lot of moving parts there that have to be brought together, that's for sure.
I mean, it's been a long time since we reserved land in some of the subdivisions further up, waiting for this time to happen,
Yes. All right, next item on the agenda is notation that the September 8th minutes are on the website, but as of late this afternoon, they have not yet been posted, but I am sure that will be happening. Last item on the agenda is approval of the August 17th, 2021 minutes. Does anyone have any comments or changes for those particular minutes?
Looks okay to me.
Yeah, I have none myself.
That's amazing.
And I didn't read them.
You're an eagle eye. You have an eagle eye memory.
Sometimes, yeah. All right, how about, is there then a motion to approve the August 17th minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the August 17th minutes. Yes.
Okay, that's from Commissioner Motto. Is there a second?
Commissioner Ticky will second.
Thank you. So on the motion from Commissioner Motto, seconded by Commissioner Ticky to approve the August 17th minutes, Commissioner Ticky,
Aye.
Commissioner Motto,
Aye.
Commissioner Laskos,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. Motion had to approve the minutes has passed and vote of 4-0. So seeing that there is no other item on the agenda, the chair declares the meeting adjourned as of 7:07 p.m. Thank you,
Very good.
everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
We'll see you next week.
Apologies to the commission for ducking out.
Oh, that's okay. That's no problem.